Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial in which we are going to see how to add Raylib to an Android application. First of all, we're going to create a new project and we are going to choose a native C++ project. This project is going to give us all the tools necessary to compile our C code and add it to Android. So we click in next. We put our name of our project here. I'm going to choose just Raylib Android, for example. You can choose your application directory where you are going to store your files. You can use Java or Kotlin. It doesn't matter here. I'm going to use Java just because. And for the API or the minimum SDK that you're going to target for your devices, I'm going to choose KitKat. That is because I have some older devices that I want to test around. But you can choose whatever you like or you need in that moment. We're going to let this as is. We're going to click next. In the toolchain, we're going to leave it as is, as default. And even when we are going to program in C, even if Android says that it's a native C++ application, we can use C. There is no problem. We just need to do some modifications to our Gradle files. Nothing fancy. So let's get to it. We click in finish. We wait until Android Studio does its thing. Now, first of all, we're going to go to here to see the project view. So we can see all the files in our project. And we're going to modify or build Gradle KTS. And we are going to copy this one, paste it over here, and put our C flags. This is going to tell our compiler, well, the Android compiler, to use C. In this case, the standard that you want to use, for example, C99, C11, or I think C17 is the latest one. We are going to use C17 because it has UTF-8 support and other fancy things. I mean, it doesn't matter too much to Raylib. I think Raylib compiles with C99, but this is just a personal preference. You can use what you want. And this directed in this Gradle file is the one that it's going to tell Cmake how to compile our files. So we save this. Now we go to our source folder, main, to our Android manifest. Here we are going to change the style because we actually don't need the default style of the application. So Android, we are going to choose this style, title, nowbar, full screen. I think it's self-explanatory. It's going to create a window with no title bar and full screen, obviously. So, and over here, very important, we're going to choose our screen orientation. In this case, I'm going to choose landscape. You can choose whatever you want, actually. Well, it's going to depend on what you want to do with Raylib. Landscape is like the default because if you're programming a game, obviously you're going to, well, most of the time it's going to be in landscape mode. But as I told you, whatever you choose over here. And that's it for this file. Now we're going to go to our CPP folder, to our Cmake. And we're going to change the name of our project over here to main. This is important because this is going to be the name of the library that we are going to import to Java. Java actually over here, Java is going to load our library. So we need to make sure that the names here and over here are the same. So we are going to change over here. Now that we are in the Java file for the moment, we are going to change this activity to a native activity. And we can delete this with no problem, and this, because we are not going to need any of this for the time being. Actually, I think never we're going to need it. Anyways, we save and we return to our Cmake. And I'm going to paste some strings over here. And we're going to add a subdirectory, in this case, Raylib. Sorry. No, not sorry. I made an omission, but I'm going to correct it right now. We need also, before we do this, sorry about that. Before we do this, we need to clone our project. You can also download the zip that is in the GitHub page and unzip it in the right directory. In this case, we're going to navigate to our app folder, the source main cpp. Let me, sorry about that. I need to make this bigger. I think that looks better. I think that looks a little bit better. So now that we are here, we go to the GitHub page. We copy the URL of the repo and we clone it in our application. So clone, and we add this, so it just downloads the latest commits or the master of, sorry, the head of the repo. So we don't need all the history of Raylib for the moment. So with this, it ensures that we just download the tip of the repo, so to speak, and it's a little bit more faster than downloaded everything. Now that is complete, we return to our Cmake and we add the library over here, the directory of the library here. This command is going to tell Cmake where is to add a subdirectory. And Raylib inside, it has its own make and Cmake. So it's going to compile almost automatically, but we need this over here, this text that I copy. It's very important. These are the compilation flags. So Raylib, to the moment of the compilation, the compiler compiles for the right architecture and the right platform for our application. So very quickly, this flag build examples obviously is off, so we don't build the supplied examples. This right here is a little bit of a hack. We need the SDK number. that is going to be built for Raylib. Raylib asks for the when you are compiling for Android, it asks you for the SDK version number, but the only way to get it is from the Android platform, and this only actually gives you a whole string like this. For example, if your minimum SDK or your SDK is, for example, 33, it's going to be Android hyphen 33, but we only need the 33. So with this regex match, we're going to extract the 33, and with Cmake match 1, this is the result of the capture group over here. So this is going to equal the number after Android hyphen, and we're going to set it to the Android API version. This is what Raylib needs. Also, this flag over here, this variable of Cmake, these are Cmake variables that are set by Android Studio automatically. So this is going to tell the Android architecture for the CPU, for example, ARM 32 bits, ARM 64, or x86 and x86 64. So every device that can run Android almost. And obviously we need to tell Raylib that we are using Android. So we tell it here, platform Android. These cache strings that I put here, these instructions over here, are quite important. Don't forget them, because for some reason, if you don't put this, Raylib, the Cmake of Raylib ignores it. So it like bypasses it, and boink, it doesn't work. So you need to put this. It's very important. To be honest, I'm not very familiar with Cmake and the process of compilation. I'm a web developer, so I'm not very knowledgeable about Cmake for the moment. But with this is sufficient to compile correctly our application. Now we need to put a very important flag. Before everything. We need to kind of add some linker flags, some extra linker flags. Sorry. And now for the moment, we change the name over here. And we add our Raylib library over here. And we save our Cmake. This is all that you need to compile. Now we go to here, and we are going to rename this file because we are using C. So we refactor the project, and that's it. And now over here, we don't need any of this. For the moment, we just save it like it is, and we sync everything we have done until now. So the project starts building. We can see here in the build In the build tab, we can see the process of building, and if we have any mistakes, any errors, or we failed at something, errors pop up here. Now, in our native libc, we see if this works. We try to include Raylib, and done. The project has compiled Raylib, or at least is aware of the Raylib library. And we can start coding in Raylib over here. So let's do the classic hello world in Raylib. Sorry, not 8 is with. Or with, or height, and the title of the window. Hola Mundo, for example. We set our target FPS to 30. We need some also set config flags to full screen. We create our loop. We begin drawing. For about 50, 15. Now let's do something more to the center. What about 100? 100. Font size, I don't know, let's 20 pixels, and color black, because it's the only color that I know. And hello world. We close our window. Sorry about that. Close our window. We return a 0. We choose our device. You can choose like a native device if you have an Android device ready to be tested, or you can use the emulator. Let's use the emulator for the moment. So I think I made a mistake. Oh, I know. Where was my mistake? My mistake is over here. We need to clear the background, obviously. Sorry about that. It will run now. And voila. Now let me tilt the font. We have our tiny hello world over there. Now let's spice things up a little bit and move this to the middle of the screen. So in this case, let me put this over here. We will divide our width in 2, divide our height in 2, so it stays right in the middle of the screen. We save this, get the running device, and we rerun our code. So it's building. Now it's going to re-execute our code. Oops. Okay, this example was intentional. So what's happening here is that actually these two values are 0. That's why this thing is almost in the corner, or it's in the corner, because init window does a little bit of heavy lifting. It connects Raylib with Android, but in doing so, if we do this before init window, basically this function is just going to throw you 0, these two functions. So to correct this, at least in Android, you need to actually call this first, so it initializes properly the Android application. Now we just set our Windows as to the correct width and height. Height cannot write today. And that's gonna be it. So at least in Android, just be careful with this. First the init window and then you resize it. And now we're going to spice things a little bit. So first thing first, we're going to use assets. What about we put an image over here and we change the font? So let's do this. We're going to add to our main folder a new folder. So you go to main, new, folder, and assets folder. And you say finish. And now you have an assets folder. Now I'm going to bring two files that I already have prepared. One is a font and one is an image. So we say okay. Now let's get rid of this for a moment. And here in my assets folder, I copy these two files that I have over here. I copy them over here. And we're going to load, let's say, the image first. We're going to erase this for the moment. And over here, we're going to load our image. It's very important for you to create this folder, because if you don't do it, Raylib is not going to, you're not going to be able to use images or assets for your game. Raylib uses the Android app struct, and that Android app has access to the asset manager, and the asset manager connects to this folder and allows you to extract the necessary resources for your application. So it's very important that you create, again, you go to new folder, assets folder. It's very important for you to create this. So image I equals load image. We load our file name, which is parrots.png. We create a texture. T equals, sorry about that texture for image. Pass our image. We unload our image I. We are also loading. No, we don't need to unload that text. Sorry about that. And we are here. Now we draw our texture. T. How about let's see, 300 by 300. Color tint white, because why not? And we rerun our code. Oh, okay, I made a mistake. Sorry about that. We compile again, and bang. We have our parrots over here. Now we are going to load the font. In this case, it's going to be, I'm going to actually copy the code. It's quite extensive, but it's not too difficult to understand. Well, a little bit. But we are going to load this. And we're going to paste it over here. So, very quickly, and just copy this code. I'm going to load this to a repo, so you all have the code. Paste it. Okay. We actually need to include the standard lib. String. I think that's all what we need to include over here. And over here we have a very large string. This string contains panagrams, which are like sentences that have all the letters in an alphabet of some language. For example, this is the classical one in English. This phrase contains all the letters of the English alphabet. This one is for Spanish. It also contains all the letters of the alphabet. And this one is for Hangul, which is the Korean alphabet. And this in particular also has, I think, all the vowels and consonants only. The funny thing in Korean is that there are several of these variations. So now over here we obviously split the string. Then over is in gray. The value is never used. Oh, sorry. In a moment we're going to use it. So obviously we split the string in 3 parts using this delimiter. And this part of load count points, this function transforms this string in an array of ints. These int are the codification, I think, in UTF-8, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably are. I actually don't really understand too much of Raylib for the moment. Yes, loads all the content from my UTF-8 string. Okay, yeah, I was right in that. And this function over here that we copy and pasted, this is in an example of the Raylib examples, removes codes that are repeated, because if you don't do it, it's going to be a mess. It's actually going to print all the repeated characters. It's kind of a mess what happens. So this function filters those code points and those illegal also code points, in case your string is like not properly encoded. Over here, and here we load the font. In this case, sorry, I need to correct this. And here we load the font with all the code points that we get from the previous functions. And now let's draw the text. It's very quick. I'm going to actually copy and paste code again. And we just print our strings with this. And so we just compile this. Sorry, we just save this. And we compile again. And relaunch our applications, and bam. We can see that the fonts were loaded correctly. And so I think that's it for all. I'm going to upload the code to GitHub. So check out the description of the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I see you next time.